Lin Moyu sat in the quiet room and took out a 6-color fine fire. The temperature in the quiet room rose sharply, the air became distorted and hot, and the small quiet room instantly turned into a lava cave. The 6-color fine fire is like a star, emitting light and heat continuously. The formation in the quiet room was in full swing, blocking all movements inside. But under the burning of the 6-color fine fire, this formation can't last long. Lin Moyu sat on the edge of the 6-color fine fire, not caring about the temperature. He took out a fire avoidance box, and put the 6-color fine fire in it. She didn't pretend like Aunt Chu with quick eyes and hands, but slowly squeezed the incomparably hot 6-color fire, and then still slowly put it into the fire shelter. The fire shelter was closed, the temperature dropped rapidly, and the defensive formation in the quiet room also gradually stopped. The fire avoidance box is boxy and square, with a very simple appearance, without even a single pattern. After putting the lid on, the fire escape box is basically a cube, a pitch-black cube. It's not pretty, but it's functional. The 6-color fine fire is installed in it, but no heat is transmitted. Military things, although simple and not very good in appearance, are quite easy to use. Lin Moyu also knows that this is the characteristic of military products. Everything starts from reality, no need to look fancy, just use. The twilight lights up, the breeze blows, and Lin Moyu uses the detection technique. Fire avoidance box, a container made of the bones of a God King Realm ice soul beast, which can isolate the flames. Under the detection technique, Lin Moyu got the source of materials to avoid fire. The material used is the bone of the ice soul beast, which is a kind of starry sky behemoth and is very powerful. The ice soul beast is born in the super god realm, and when it reaches adulthood, it will naturally reach the God King realm, and after a little practice, it will be in the God exalted realm. The ice soul beast is full of chill from soul to body, and is good at manipulating laws like ice. It was once recorded that a newborn ice soul beast accidentally fell onto a human life star. This is an ordinary life star, and there are no practitioners. 2 years later, the entire life star was frozen by ice, and none of the creatures on it survived. It wasn't until 10 years later that the strong man discovered that he had killed the ice soul beast in the past. After 10 years of freezing, the hundreds of kilometers underground of the stars have been frozen. If it is several decades later, the whole star will become a dead star. This is just a newborn ice soul beast. If it is an adult ice soul beast, it can freeze a living star to death at once. It can even freeze stars. When Lin Moyu saw the information, he thought sincerely, if it catches fire, it should be good for extinguishing the fire. Lin Moyu put away the fire avoidance box and continued to put away the 6-color fine fire. Soon, all 10 6-color fine fires were put into the fire shelter box. The fire avoidance box did not have quality problems as Aunt Chu said, and it was a success every time. There are still 3 7-color fine fires left, and these 3 7-color fine fires are prepared for Yu Qingru. Lin Moyu is not sure whether the fire shelter can withstand the burning of the colorful fire. Try it. The colorful fire was taken out, and a huge heat wave swept out. Immediately impacted on the formation in the quiet room, the defensive formation in the quiet room was brighter than ever before, blooming with brilliance. Accompanied by bursts of sound like breaking glass, the whole meditation room trembled, and it looked like it was about to collapse. The ground of the quiet room has turned red, as if it was about to be burned. The colorful fire is too strong, just the heat emitted is so terrifying. Lin Moyu quickly took out the wall box, and put a handful of fine fire into it. After closing the box, the fire shelter vibrated violently, as if it would explode at any moment. Lin Moyu felt that the temperature on the surface of the fire shelter had risen. It was cold before, but now it was warm. Hopefully it holds up. Lin Moyu looked at it, and was ready to put away the colorful fine fire at any time. If the 7-color fire appeared in the starry sky fortress, it would be a cultivator in the real God realm who would die. After the fire shelter vibrated for a while, it finally became calm. Hold on. Lin Moyu was overjoyed. It was produced by the military, and the fruit is extraordinary. Lin Moyu put it away when the fire shelter was completely stable and the temperature on the surface dropped gradually, returning to the usual freezing cold. Looking at the quiet room that was riddled with holes, Lin Moyu knew that the quiet room could no longer be used. If it does it again, I'm afraid it will collapse directly. After Lin Moyu left, he changed to a quiet room and continued. Soon, Lin Moyu came out from the second quiet room and changed to the third quiet room. After changing to 3 quiet rooms in a row, Lin Moyu left Starry Sky Fortress blankly, walking in a little haste. After he left, someone came to the quiet room and happened to choose the one where Lin Moyu had stayed. 0. Ask for flowers. As soon as the door opened, a wave of heat rushed in. The temperature of the heat wave was too high, and the clothes on his body were instantly scorched, and then turned into ashes, which fell into the starry sky with the heat. Then a scream resounded through the sky. Lin Moyu, who had already walked away, vaguely heard the scream, and his face was awkward. I'm sorry. Why? The ultra-high temperature of the colorful fine fire burned out the quiet room and the defensive array inside. The high temperature is difficult to dissipate for a long time, and this scene will happen now. High temperatures don't kill people, but they can damage clothing. Lin Moyu went to the mission center with a hint of apology. While there is still time, find me a suitable task for you. Ding. Suddenly, a message came from Renwang Network. A promotion mission is coming. Lin Moyu's heart moved, and his consciousness was connected to Renwang's network. You have damaged Suzaku Battlefield, number 1 Star Fortress Quiet Room, a total of 3. Therefore, 3 million points will be deducted from you as compensation. The corner of Lin Moyu's mouth twitched. It turned out to be a fine. Renwang Network is really impeccable, such a small matter can be caught. Just buckle it up. Lin Jiu said that one person does one thing and one person does it. I am a rich man with a net worth of 80 million, and a mere 300 square meters is nothing. Entering the mission center, the mission table is overcrowded. Lin Moyu waited for a while until he found an empty task table, and began to look for a task that suited him. In the second chain of missions, he had to complete 5 battlefield missions. None have been completed so far. But Lin Moyu was just looking for it, and didn't go to pick it up. At present, the promotion of military rank is still the most important task. There are many battlefield missions, some of which require cultivation level. Such missions are often more dangerous, but the rewards are also richer. From the amount of rewards, you can basically judge the difficulty of a task. Lin Moyu basically ignored tasks with less rewards, and specifically picked some tasks with rich rewards. And he remembered what Chanhuang said, the tasks in Renwang's network are also divided into categories. He can choose the task of combat power as much as possible. After a long time, he gradually locked several tasks. Ding! There was a soft sound, and Renwang Network sent another message. This time it should be a promotion task, so I won't be fined twice, right? After seeing the news, Lin Moyu was slightly taken aback. It's not ordinary news, it requires his consciousness to fully enter the Renwang Network. Lin Moyu left the mission table and gave way to the latecomers. He found a slightly secluded place, leaned against the wall, and then connected his consciousness to the internet. The picture in front of me gradually became illusory, and the mission center rippled like water ripples, and finally disappeared. In its place was a starry sky. His consciousness entered the Renwang Network, and what he saw was the picture constructed by the Renwang Network. A majestic middle-aged man in military uniform stepped forward from the starry sky, and arrived in front of Lin Moyu after 2 or 3 steps. Lin Moyu saluted slowly when he saw the person coming. Lin Moyu met the army commander. Qi Yuanjun remained as serious as ever. I'm here to announce this promotion task to you. Lin Moyu was slightly taken aback. Does the promotion task require you to release it? Qi Yuan's army shook his head. Others don't need it, you are different. I am different, what is different? Lin Moyu didn't understand for a while. But Qi Yuanjun had already talked about the task content. Lin Moyu immediately pricked up his ears and listened. Fortress 6, Area 99, where the Golden Stone is produced, and many practitioners of our side are active there. Recently, we received news that a group of gold-eating beasts were born there, hunting and killing many practitioners who were active there. Your task is to lead a small team to rescue the human cultivators in that area. The team includes you, there are 5 people in total, the personnel has been arranged, and you are the captain. After Qi Yuanjun finished the task, he said in a deep voice, the above is the content of the task. If there is anything you don't understand, you can ask now. This task seems simple, just to save people. But since Qi Yuanjun had to come and announce in person, it must not be that simple. Lin Moyu asked, is there a specific location for the number and level of the gold-devouring beasts? Based on his understanding of the battlefield, the starry sky controlled by each fortress is called a war zone. Each theater is divided into 100 areas. As Qi Yuanjun said, it is fortress number 6, area No. 99. In fact, it is theater number 6, area No. 99, numbered 6 to 99. The 6 to 99 area is much smaller than the 5 to 38 star area that Lin Moyu has been to. The spherical area has a diameter of only 0.01 light-year, almost 100 billion kilometers. The diameter of the area collected by Shuojin is only about 60 billion kilometers, and the rest of the area is the vast starry sky. Although it is only 0.01 light-year in diameter, it is still a huge area for true God realm practitioners. In such a large area, it is more unreliable than finding a needle in a haystack if only a 5-person team goes in to find it. But now that the task is done, Lin Moyu believes that there must be a way, otherwise this task is a nonsense. Qi Yuanjun said in a deep voice, the number of gold-eating beasts is unknown, but they are mass starry sky monsters, and the number of testicles is generally between 5,000 and 10,000. According to our understanding of the gold-eating beasts, the general strength of the gold-eating beasts is concentrated between the 8th level of the true God and the peak of the true God, and the elite members among them can reach the 1st level of the God King. For every 1,000 gold-eating beasts, one will be born captain. The captain's strength is around the 2nd to 3rd rank of the God King. If there are tens of thousands of gold-eating beasts, a beast king will be born, and the strength will be around the 4th level of a God King. Lin Moyu estimated that fortress number 6 also belongs to the area where the activities of the true God realm are carried out. Even if there are God King realm practitioners here, there will not be too many, and their strength is generally at the 1st level of God King. With such strength, if they encounter a herd of gold-devouring beasts, they will hardly survive. Lin Moyu pondered for a moment, then said, "You continue." Qi Yuanjun raised his forehead slightly. The area 6 to 99 is a bit special, although it is also a circular area, it has entrances and exits. At this moment, a round ball appeared in front of Lin Moyu's eyes. This ball has hundreds of sharp protrusions, and the whole ball looks like a shrunken hedgehog. Renwang Network presented the appearance of number 6 to 99 area. Qi Yuanjun said, these spikes are the passages to and from area 99. These passages are opened and closed from time to time, and they can only be passed through when they are open. These channels don't have fixed positions, they change positions along the boundaries of the region. Sometimes even if the passage appears, it may not be possible to pass through. And the channel has a level limit. As long as the cultivation base exceeds the 3rd level of the God King, it will cause the channel to collapse and fall into an endless void. Then 6 passages lit up, 2 of which were golden, and the other 4 were scarlet. Qi Yuanjun continued, these 2 golden passages are the ones we often use. After years of exploration, we found that several of them are relatively stable. The other 4 red passages are passages often used by foreign races. Now the group of gold-eating beasts appears, they guard these 2 passages, and start hunting down the people in the area. Qi Yuanjun said a lot, but not enough. Lin Moyu still had a lot of doubts in his mind. There are not many gold-eating beasts, and the area is so big, how did they hunt and kill them? Qi Yuanjun said, gold-eating beasts belong to the starry sky behemoth of the metal system, and they can resonate with Shuojin in that starry sky. Through resonance, they can find the creatures hidden in it. Of course, they don't just hunt down our human race. Other races are also their targets. Lin Moyu continued to ask, what's the reaction to the disease? Qi Yuanjun was not impatient. He told Lin Moyu truthfully what he had so far. Now other races have sent corresponding teams, so this time you have to face not only the gold-devouring beast, but also the enemy team. As expected, then how do I find someone? The vast starry sky can't let me look for it with my eyes. Lin Moyu smiled, as if Qi Yuanjun's words had already been guessed by him. The fact is also the same. Lin Moyu analyzed a lot of information from the previous words. The gold-devouring beast is a starry sky behemoth, and it will not only stare at the human race to hunt and kill. It can be said that all creatures except themselves are their targets. Qi Yuanjun said, you can go to Meng Gang later, and he will tell you how to find someone. Okay, I still have a question. Explain. Am I just responsible for saving people? Can I kill the golden beast? Also, for such a big event, there should be more than one team going there. Or, there are already teams going there, but the results are not ideal. Why is the army not moving? Qi Yuanjun raised his eyebrows slightly, and there was a sparkle in his eyes. It's good that you can think of these things. You can kill the gold-devouring beast if you can. For other specific information, you can ask Meng Gang, and he will tell you. After leaving Renwang Network, Lin Moyu did not go to Meng Gang. According to his analysis, the gold-devouring beast didn't happen just now, so he obviously wasn't in a hurry. He waited for a while until a task bench was free, and then started operating on the task bench. Among the missions he selected just now, one mission is in the Area 6 to 99. Areas 6 to 99 are used to collect shuojin, which is a special metal that contains the laws of the metal system. It is an excellent material for making weapons and armor. And in the center of this area, there is a star composed entirely of shuojin, and at the core of the star is the essence of shuojin. Shuojin and shuojin essence are completely different in function and grade. Shuojin is an excellent material, which can be used to refine weapons and make puppets. Literally, shuojin essence should also be the best material. But in fact it is not. Shuojin essence is a natural elixir, the function is to condense the soul. For cultivators in the realm of true gods, if they want to manifest their souls, in addition to their own perception, they also need some additional items to assist them, so that the effect will be better. The soul is very fragile in its early stages. Although powerful, it is too fragile and easily hurt. It is not until the 9th level of the true god that the manifestation of the soul will become perfect, and various defects will be made up and become stronger. At that time, the laws were armor and weapons, and only the embodiment of the soul could show relatively strong combat effectiveness. A 9th level true god with the ability to manifest souls, killing a true god in the same realm without the ability to manifest souls, is just pointing fingers. Although the soul has become stronger and can be called perfect, it can only be called. The defense of the soul is still not strong enough. If it encounters a powerful enemy, it is still vulnerable to damage. It is mainly reflected in the fact that the armor transformed into laws is not strong enough, the soul clothes of the true god realm are not strong enough, and at the same time the soul itself is not strong enough. Shuojin essence can change this very well. The soul refines the essence of shuojin, which can strengthen the soul and make the essence of the soul stronger. It is equivalent to adding another layer of defense to the soul under the law armor and soul clothes. Someone once estimated that if you can get enough Shujin essence, the soul defense power of the true god realm can be multiplied by more than 100 times. Even without the protection of laws and soul clothes, even the 5th and 6th rank god kings cannot harm the soul. At that time, you can use soul appearance unscrupulously. At the same time, it can also lay a firm foundation for the realm of soul law in the god king realm. Although Lin Moyu has the talent of soul regeneration, the stronger the soul, the better. This kind of talent is used to save one's life, not to kill one's life. Even if his soul is already strong now, strong enough to use soul manifestation, he is not much worse than those who are at the peak of true gods. But he still wants to further strengthen the soul. At that time, he took a fancy to this task, and this time he happened to accept it together. Battlefield mission, collect shuojin in areas 6 to 99. In the 99th area of the 6th war zone, collect enough shuojin and bring it back. Restrictions, none. Completion conditions, bring back at least 1,000 katis of shuojin, reward 3,000 points, and 10 military merits. Precautions, there are a lot of hostile ethnic activities in the area where gold is collected, please pay attention to safety. There are many stars in the center of the area that are completely composed of shuojin, and the soul material shuojin essence will be produced inside them. This place is extremely dangerous, and those who are not strong enough should not approach it. The reward of this task is even less than that of collecting stellar fine fire, which shows that the task is not only dangerous. As long as you don't go to the center to die, and don't encounter hostile races, there will be no danger. After Lin Moyu accepted the mission, he left the mission center and went to the military merit office. It is estimated that Meng Gang will be a member of this mission, and I don't know who the others are. Lin Moyu guessed in his heart, and Qi Yuanjun told him that if he didn't understand anything, he could ask Meng Gang. This is enough to show that Meng Gang will carry out the task with him this time. He is the captain, and Meng Gang is the team member. Lin Moyu can also guess some reasons why he chose Meng Gang. It is estimated that Meng Gang has been to Area 6 to 99 and is relatively familiar with it. At the same time, he is also a veteran and can offer some advice for himself. It's just that if a non-commissioned officer becomes his subordinate, I'm afraid Meng Gang will have some opinions in his heart. Thinking of this, the corners of Lin Moyu's mouth slightly raised. It doesn't matter if you have any opinions, just hold them back. In the army, soldiers take obeying orders as their bounden duty, and military orders are like mountains, not just for fun. The small world is like this, and the big world is even worse. There is no room for you to discuss. In front of the military merit office, I saw Meng Gang standing outside. There are 2 other people with Meng Gang. Lin Moyu had seen these 2 people, and they were both Meng Gang's subordinates. Mr. Meng, we meet again. Lin Moyu greeted Meng Gang with a smile. Seeing Lin Moyu, Meng Gang's heart twitched involuntarily. He didn't know why he was assigned to do this task this time. The order was issued directly by the Legion commander. He was not qualified to object, and he was not even qualified to ask why. All he can do is obey. He took out a round array disc and handed it to Lin Moyu. This is the person finding array disc used for this mission, and it can react with the battlefield tokens within a square kilometer. Every human cultivator on the battlefield will carry a battlefield token. This is the best token. As long as you find the battlefield token, you can find people. Lin Moyu took the array and played with it for a while. His eyes swept over Meng Gang, and landed on the other 2. Let me introduce myself. Quote. The eyes of the 2 were slightly different, and the young man with the Chinese character face snorted. Wang Zhenghao, a 7th-level fighter, a 9th-level true god, good at the law of explosion. One person lowered his voice. Rongji, a member of the 7th team, is a 9th-level true god, and is good at the law of starlight. Lin Moyu raised his forehead slightly, and his eyes fell on Meng Gang. Sergeant Meng, it's your turn. Meng Gang nodded with a calm tone. Meng Gang, a 1st-rank non-commissioned officer, 2nd-rank God King, is good at sharp metal law. Lin Moyu hummed, that's right, Sergeant Meng knows who the other person is. He has 4 teammates, and now 3 have arrived, and 10 have yet to arrive. Meng Gang shook his head. I received the mission just now, and I don't know who the other person is. At this time, a beautiful figure ran over quickly. She is like a beautiful butterfly, dancing in the wind, walking briskly, and she is in front of her in a blink of an eye. She was dressed in a moon-white robe, slightly tight-fitting, highlighting her proud figure. Coupled with a moving appearance, she is indeed a rare beauty. The arrival of Yuju immediately attracted the attention of several people. Especially Wang Zhengting and Rongji, their eyes were deeply attracted by Yuju, and it was difficult to move their eyes away. Lin Moyu was slightly taken aback. Why are you here? Yuju smiled and said, Russia is here to do the task of military rank promotion. Lin Moyu was taken aback for a moment, and after making sure that Yuju was not joking, he chuckled, what a coincidence. Yuju smiled, why, I'm not welcome. No, let me introduce myself. Lin Moyu's tone was as flat as ever, and it didn't change because of polygonatum. Yuju hummed. Yuju, a 9th-level fighter, a 9th-level true god, is good at the law of jade plants. Lin Moyu was slightly taken aback by Yuji's law. The law of jade planting is very rare. It is said that there is a giant tree like jade in the big world, which is called Yushu. Yushu is several light years high and extremely huge. There are various stars growing on it, forming the Milky Way star sea. At the same time, a special law was born on it, called the Yuji law. Using the forest of laws of jade planting, you can summon the phantoms of the jade trees, and arouse the power of the stars, which is quite powerful. After Yuju finished speaking, she showed a look that I am very powerful. It's a pity that Lin Moyu didn't express the slightest, let alone boast. After introducing himself, Lin Moyu turned and walked towards the military merit office. Come here. Wait for me. Yuju whispered, and hurriedly followed. The 3 of Meng Gang looked at each other. Wang Zhenghao and Rongji were obviously not convinced. But Meng Gang said in a low voice, from now on, until the end of this mission, Lin Moyu will be the captain. If you are unhappy, please hold back. Just as Wang Hao and Rongji are Meng Gang's subordinates, Meng Gang's words are more effective than Lin Moyu's words. The 2 suppressed their inner dissatisfaction and aggrieved, we know. Meng Gang hummed, and followed Lin Moyu into the military merit department. Yuju quickly caught up with Lin Moyu. Aren't we going to do a mission? What are we going to do at the military merit office? Lin Moyu said, buy something. Yuju asked, you want to buy Zhenjin Dan, right? Yeah. Lin Moyu nodded and said, and had already arrived at the counter for purchasing items. If a worker wants to do a good job, he must first sharpen his tools. Before the task, you must first do the preparatory work. Every area in the battlefield has dangers. Some dangers come from hostile races, and some dangers come from the battlefield itself. Like the dark stars in the 5 to 38 area, as well as the flashing stars, they are very dangerous. Stellar fine fire itself is not safe, and practitioners are often burned to death. As for Shuojin in Area 6 to 99, it seems that there is not much danger, but it is actually not safe. Shuojin has an associated ore, which is useless, but contains some kind of strange toxin. This toxin is like an invisible light, covering the entire starry sky. As long as you are in it, even if you don't breathe, the toxin can invade the body, even magic weapons can't stop it. The toxin is not strong, but it can continue to accumulate. When it accumulates to a certain level, the toxicity will explode, which will affect the cultivation base at least, and cause severe damage or even damage the foundation. After long years of research, the alchemists of the military have developed a kind of elixir called Jinzhendan. Zhenjiandan can be lower than toxins, and a Zhenjiandan can be effective for up to 10 days. Lin Moyu is not afraid of this kind of toxin. Without the influence of laws, pure toxin will not cause any harm to him. But for Meng Gang and others, it's hard to say. Meng Gang has been to Area 6 to 99 and had contact with Shuojin, so he must know that he must be ready to shake Jindan. Including Wang Zhenghao and Rongji must know, not to mention Yuju. In some common-sense aspects, they must surpass themselves. Zhen Jindan and the others must have prepared it. But their preparations are their business, since as the captain of this mission, Lin Moyu has his own ideas. Meng Gang came to Lin Moyu at this time. Captain, are you going to buy Chia Jindan? Lin Moyu hummed, buy some to be prepared. Meng Gang said, the army has prepared Zhenjiandan for us, you just need to buy your own. While talking, he looked at Yuju, and Yuju immediately said, I've also prepared Zhenjiandan. Lin Moyu didn't seem to hear what they said, he had already found Zhenjiandan in the item list. Zhenjiandan is the most common item, as long as you are a soldier, you can buy it with military merit. The price is not high, 10 military merits a grain, each grain yushan. Lin Moyu didn't know how long it would take, he bought a total of 100 pills and spent 1,000 military merit. The military merit was deducted, and soon someone sent Zhenjiandan to Lin Moyu. I don't know how many golden pills the military has given you, but this time it's my rank promotion task, and I'm the captain, so I should prepare the golden pills. Here are 100 shocking gold pills, which will be handed over to Meng Gang for safekeeping together with the person hunting disc. Lin Moyu handed the jade bottle containing Zhenjiandan and the person hunting array to Meng Gang, and then whispered, let's go. Several people looked at each other, and Meng Gang saw something different in the eyes of Wang Zhenghao and Dai Dai. Lin Moyu's sentence, I am the captain, and I should prepare Zhenjiandan. There are some touches on them. Yuju's eyes flickered, she didn't say anything, and followed in silence. Fortress number 6, the teleportation array lights up. Lin Moyu and his party of 5 appeared in the teleportation formation. After a second pause, the teleportation array flashed again, sending them to the outpost in Area 99. Coming out of the number 99 outpost, several people immediately felt the oppressive and dull atmosphere. An army is neatly stationed in the outpost, forming a phalanx in the starry sky. The phalanx in the starry sky is not the phalanx on the ground, but a cube formation. Each phalanx is composed of 10,000 soldiers, and as far as the eye can see, there are 10 identical phalanxes. Every phalanx exudes an astonishing aura, and the aura of the soldiers condenses into one. Although the cultivation of the soldiers is only true gods, even the god kings will bow down in front of them. Above the phalanx, tens of thousands of kilometers away, are warships. The whole army is ready to go, ready to attack at any time. The appearance of the army seems to indicate that the situation here is not optimistic. The three of Meng Gang looked at the military formation with respect in their eyes, and Rongji said unconsciously, the battle is about to begin. Lin Moyu shook his head, I can't fight. Rongji was slightly taken aback, with disbelief, how do you know? Lin Moyu chuckled and flew towards Area 99 without explaining. The four hurriedly followed, and Rongji asked after him, how do you know you can't fight? Lin Moyu still didn't answer, and Rongji wanted to ask again. Meng Gang said lightly, shut up. Rongji trembled, obediently shut his mouth and stopped talking. He is Meng Gang's subordinate, and Meng Gang's words are very useful. After flying 1,000,000 kilometers, the starry sky became quiet, and the outpost was only a small dot left in sight. At this moment, Lin Moyu stopped and said to Meng Gang, please explain why you can't fight, and explain the mission in detail by the way. Meng Gang nodded. This time in Area 6 to 99, a group of gold-eating beasts suddenly appeared, causing a lot of damage to all races in the area. The number of gold-devouring beasts is unknown, but it is certain that there are a lot of them, and they guard the commonly used passages, making it difficult for the practitioners inside to escape. After we received the news, the army was dispatched as soon as possible. However, other races also dispatched troops, and confrontation occurred in many ways. After negotiation, it was decided to send teams to the rescue. Each team should have no more than 5 people, and each race should have no more than 10 teams. After the first 9 teams entered, the effect was not satisfactory. We are the 10th team of the human race. After he finished speaking, Rongji finally couldn't help asking, why don't the troops of all ethnic groups go in? As long as the troops go in, it shouldn't be difficult to slaughter the gold-eating beasts. His words caused Yuju to roll her eyes, as if looking at an idiot. De Zhao, let the army go in and slaughter the gold-eating beasts, and by the way, kill the cultivators of the hostile races too. Yuju's words immediately made Rongji speechless. Yes, if the army goes in, while slaughtering the gold-eating beasts and rescuing the cultivators of their own clan, they will inevitably slaughter the cultivators of the enemy clan. Facing the butcher's knife of the army, there are a few practitioners who can resist it. Therefore, the armies of various ethnic groups are stalemate with each other. How can it be possible to allow the armies of other ethnic groups to enter? Sending a small team in for rescue was also the result of discussions among various ethnic groups. Wang Zhenghao asked, the team sent in before didn't bring back any useful information. Meng Gang shook his head. No, because Area 99 is affected by toxins, it's difficult to convey the information inside. Wang Zhenghao's voice was deep. It seems that this mission is very dangerous. Rongji's expression was not good either. He was already aware of the danger of the mission. Only Yuju still had a smile in the corner of her eyes. Her bright eyes were like stars, and she didn't look worried at all. This task is very dangerous. Meng Gang thought of it from the very beginning. But after analysis, the mission was more dangerous than he imagined. He looked at Lin Moyu. He didn't understand why the promotion task of a non-commissioned officer was so difficult. From what angle did the Human Emperor Network and the military consider to arrange such a dangerous mission? In his opinion, within the limit of the 6 to 99 area, a second-tier team of God Kings who can leapfrog challenges should be arranged to enter. There are so many geniuses in the army, let alone a team like this, even a few will be fine. Or, Meng Gang suddenly thought of an even worse premonition. Maybe the military has dispatched a team composed of second-level geniuses of the God King, but there is still no result. If this is the case, the danger level of this mission will be extremely high. Then what's the point of them going in? To deliver food to the Gold Devourer. Meng Gang is very clear about his combat power. The second rank of the God King is the second rank of the God King, and the ordinary second rank of the God King. Wang Zhenghao and Rongji are his subordinates, and it is clear how powerful they are. Polygonatum is also the 9th level of the true God. No matter how strong it is, it will not be much stronger. Then the only variable is Lin Moyu. Meng Gang looked at Lin Moyu with a slightly complicated look. Lin 113, who had been thinking with his eyes closed, said silently, and then slowly opened his eyes. A sharp light flashed in his eyes, sweeping across the starry sky like a sharp sword, just in time to interact with Meng Gang's eyes. Meng Gang only felt a slight pain in his eyes, as if he had been cut by a sharp knife. Lin Moyu opened his mouth slowly, with a serious expression. Meng Gang said it rather tactfully. According to my analysis, the previous 9 teams entered without sending any information back, nor did they save anyone, and they may even be trapped already. Life or death is unknown. The armies of all ethnic groups are bound to be in a state of stalemate at present, and it is estimated that it will continue for a long time. At least until we get specific news, there will be no war between the various ethnic groups. Our first priority here is to save people, and the second is to kill the cultivators of the Golden Beast and the enemy. Lin Moyu's words stunned several people. It's just that the difficulty of saving people is not small. It feels even more difficult to kill the Golden Beast and kill the enemy. Meng Gang seemed to have something to say, but before he could say it, Lin Moyu glanced over and blocked his words. The aura on Lin Moyu's body changed, the previous gentleness disappeared, replaced by a kind of majesty. Lin Moyu's body was so majestic that several people couldn't breathe. The faces of Wang Zhenghao and Rongji turned slightly pale, and their chests rose and fell several times. They felt that they were facing a high-ranking general, and the temperament unique to generals was so obvious. Three words rose in their hearts at the same time: impossible. Meng Gang also found it unbelievable. He just had the illusion of facing the army commander. The legion commander in the fortress is a strong man above the sixth level of the true god, and he is a general of the military. Lin Moyu is obviously only the fifth level true god, but he is only a ninth level fighter, and he is on the mission of promotion. Meng Gang found it inconceivable and couldn't figure it out. Yuju didn't have such a strong feeling like them, but Lin Moyu suddenly became extremely strong, which was completely different from before. Lin Moyu said in a low voice, "I don't care what you think of me before, whether you have conflicts with me, it doesn't matter. In this mission, I am the captain, and I am your commander. My orders must be obeyed unconditionally. In the army's regulations, there is no such word as regret. If you choose to retreat now, I will kill you and continue the mission with your corpses. If you disobey my orders during the mission, I will also kill you. Is there a problem?" Lin Moyu's words also carried a powerful majesty, like a huge hammer falling on several people, beating them blind. Yuju whispered, "I'm not a soldier." Lin Moyu glanced at her. "Since you joined my team, you will be a soldier until the task is completed." Yuju snorted softly, seemed a little dissatisfied, but said, "Well, I understand. The power is not as good as others." Yuju wisely chose to be obedient and not to be a leader. Lin Moyu's eyes swept over Meng Gang and the three of them, and the three of Meng Gang reacted in a jerk. Meng Gang said in a low voice, "Understood. As a soldier, you can only follow orders." ACDH. Wang Zhenghao and Rong Ji said in unison, "Do as you are told." Lin Moyu nodded. "Very well, let's go now." As he said that, he took out the Battle King Tower. "Come in." There are still nearly 1 billion kilometers away from Area 99. To save time, Lin Moyu decided to use the King of War Tower to hurry. In addition to being used for representation, this flying device of the God King realm can also be used for combat. Its combat power is not weak, at least not weaker than the third rank of ordinary God Kings. If it is fully exerted, it is enough to kill a God King like Meng Gang. It's just that Lin Moyu's current state is not enough to exert its power. The Zhangwang Pagoda turned into a stream of light, carrying 4 people to cut through the minister. Meng Gang's eyes flickered. He recognized the flying equipment of the Battle King Tashan King realm, and he had not weak combat power. He even felt the threat from the Battle King Tower, indicating that the battle power of the Battle King Tower is no weaker than him. There is a gleam of envy in his eyes. There are many flying machines in the God King realm, and they can be bought no matter whether they are military achievements or points. However, an aircraft is an aircraft, and an aircraft with combat effectiveness is different. This is like the difference between spaceships and battleships. Spaceships are cheap, but battleships are a dead end. Anyway, with his net worth, he couldn't afford the Battle King Tower. Lin Moyu noticed the look in his eyes. "This is my reward for a mission." Meng Gang almost blurted out and asked, "What task? The reward is so good." But as soon as the words came out of his mouth, he knew he shouldn't ask, so he couldn't help showing a little embarrassment. Lin Moyu said, "Which guest is a bit special?" Lin Moyu had already given him the steps, and Meng Gang walked down immediately. After half a day of contact, Meng Gang discovered that Lin Moyu is actually not difficult to get along with. When there is nothing to do, he speaks very softly, and occasionally makes a joke. Thinking about what happened before, that misunderstanding seemed to be caused by myself. The speed of the Zhangwang Tower reached 100,000 kilometers per second. Several hours later, they finally approached Area 99, and saw a human army. In addition to the human army in the outpost, there is also a human army waiting in line here. In addition to the big homeland of the human race, tens of millions of kilometers away, you can still feel the atmosphere from other races. The same huge aura, like a sharp knife, aimed at this place, monitoring every move of the human army. Lin Moyu knew that in the dark and deep space, the alien army was also ready. There are many confrontations here, and the situation is extremely complicated. One of the troops flew out and flew towards Lin Moyu. According to the regulations, Lin Moyu handed over his battlefield token and verified his identity before the army let them go. Across the army, Lin Moyu met the leader of this army. Old acquaintance. The elder of Fortress 6, Wang Xing. Wang Xing is not only the elder in the 6th fortress, but also has the 4th level cultivation base of God Venerable, and is also a captain, a 6th level captain. He came here after returning from the manor. When Wang Xing saw Lin Moyu, surprise appeared on his face. "Little friend Lin, I didn't expect you to lead the team." Elder Wang Xing was dressed in military uniform and had a heavy aura. The aura of the superior came rushing towards his face, whether it was military rank, position, or his own cultivation level, everyone dared not look directly at him. When Meng Gang and the others saw Wang Xing, they bowed their heads slightly to show respect. Even Polygonatum, who came from an extraordinary background, put away her smile at this moment and became dignified, a little more mature. Lin Moyu smiled. "Elder Wang, why are you here?" Wang Xing laughed. "I was ordered to come here to sit in the township. Although the old man's strength is mediocre, he is still a god after all." "Elder Wang, you are joking." Lin Moyu knew that Wang Xing was just being modest. In the manor, due to restrictions, Wang Xing couldn't display even 1/10,000th of his strength. But in the outside world, even 1,000 Lin Moyu could not defeat Wang Xing. Millions of undead legions are also difficult to cause effective damage to Wang Xing. At most, it is to delay some time, and use it to escape for his own life. Whether he can skip it is another matter. Lin Moyu and Wang Xing chatted cordially. Wang Xing was very majestic, and Lin Moyu was not bad either. The two of them were in the same boat. Meng Gang and the others followed behind obediently like little chickens, not daring to make a sound. Only then did they truly recognize Lin Moyu, and found that the Lin Moyu they knew before was just the tip of the iceberg. Meng Gang felt that fortunately he let go of his prejudice and decided to build a good relationship with Lin Moyu. If you continue to fight against Lin Moyu, you are probably courting death. An existence that can communicate with the gods on an equal footing, is that something he can provoke? Meng Gang felt that he should have thought of it long ago. There are so many geniuses in the human race, and countless geniuses come to the Suzaku battlefield every year, and there are also many people who have made contributions to the human race. But who can get the honorary title? For nearly 100 years, Lin Moyu has been the only one in Suzaku battlefield. How can this kind of person be provoked by oneself? Through the conversation with Wang Xing, Lin Moyu sort of figured out the current situation. The gold-devouring beast happened half a month ago, and Elder Wang Xing just arrived a few days ago. He was ordered to come over to support the town. There were 4 elders in Fortress 6, and Li Yuanbai was still guarding outside the manor. The other 3 elders have all arrived here. The group army to which Fortress number 6 belongs is ready to go. It doesn't have to be a fight. If it does, it won't be caught off guard. At present, the multi-party armies are confronting each other, which has reached as many as 5 races. In addition to the old rivals, the Demon Clan, there are also the Golden Eagle Clan, the Flying Wing Clan, and the Flying Snake Clan. Coincidentally, these 4 races are enemies of the human race. Then the Demon Clan and the Golden Eagle Clan do not fight each other, and the Golden Eagle Clan and the Flying Snake Clan also have enmity. The Flying Wings have some conflicts with the Flying Snakes. So they restrained each other, and no one did anything, reaching a strange balance. According to Wang Xing, they have received news that the army of the Bull Demon Clan has also come. The Bull Demon race and the human race are not hostile races, but they have a normal relationship with each other, and they have some conflicts with the Demon race. With their arrival, I don't know if they will break the balance. There is no need for Lin Moyu to worry about these things. What he has to do now is to go in and save people. Then when you see a hostile race, just kill it. The same goes for the gold-devouring beast. Then go to the regional center to see if you can get Shuojin essence. Wang Xing brought Lin Moyu to a place, about 100,000 kilometers ahead. It wasn't pitch black, but a light blue halo appeared. It looks a bit charming. The halo is constantly changing in the starry sky, and there seem to be bubbles rolling on it, as if something is about to rush out of the halo. The area surrounded by this halo, Area 6 to 99. Wang Xing pointed to the constantly changing bubbles. This is the area that our human race often enters and exits, and passages will appear every once in a while. According to estimates, there should be a channel forming in another hour or so. After you go in, you have to write down the location, and when you come back, it's better to go back the same way. Lin Moyu nodded. Is there no news about the team that went in before? Wang Xing shook his head. No. Lin Moyu nodded slightly. I'll go and have a look. As long as they're not dead, I'll bring them back. Then I wish Xiao Lin every success. Wang Xing smiled. He was not worried about Lin Moyu at all, and seemed to have full confidence in Lin Moyu. After returning from the manor, he went to know some things about Lin Moyu. With his authority, he can know more than ordinary people, and he knows how strong Lin Moyu is. Just the physical body of the peak of the true god is enough to make most gods feel ashamed. Lin Moyu said to Meng Gang and the others, "The passage will appear in about an hour. Now take the Zhenjin Dan. You, Meng Gang, are responsible for this." Meng Gang was startled and responded loudly, "Obey." He immediately took out Zhenjin Dan and distributed it to everyone. When he wanted to give Zhenjin Dan to Lin Moyu refused. "Don't give it to me. If I need it, I will ask you for it." 0. Ask for flowers. Meng Gang was puzzled, but he didn't ask. He remembered what Lin Moyu said before, his words are orders, and he just needs to obey. As time passed, the mood of Meng Gang and the others became tense. The 9 teams went in before, but there was no news of them. It is really hard to say whether they can come out alive after they go. An hour later, a bubble suddenly bulged violently on the blue halo in front of my eyes, as if something was barreling out from the inside, and the bubble rose from the ground like a mountain peak, becoming sharp. Meng Gang, who had been here before, thought in his heart, "The passage is about to appear." He tensed up and became more tense. Lin Moyu's voice sounded slowly. "After going in for a while, Meng Gang will be in charge of protecting and at the same time activate the person-finding array. If there are gold-eating beasts or enemies, don't worry about them, I will deal with them." His words were so decisive that no one could refuse. Meng Gang's heart trembled, and he immediately responded, "I see." Lin Moyu hummed and began to watch the bubbles. After continuously rising hundreds of times, the bubbles had become hundreds of miles high, and then exploded in the starry sky. The light blue light exploded from the halo, as if the halo had broken a hole. The channel is also formed at this moment. "Let's go." Lin Moyu yelled lightly, and rushed to the passage first. Meng Gang and the others immediately followed behind, keeping close to each other. The blue in the channel becomes more and more intense, gradually turning towards dark blue. Lin Moyu's expression changed suddenly, and he said in a low voice, "Be careful." Meng Gang reacted immediately, and a strong law erupted from his whole body, which was dazzling. The field of laws unfolded in an instant, and golden light enveloped the 4 of them. Countless golden law swords stretched out from the rays of light, forming a sword array, covering the 4 people with swords as armor. Just after he unfolded the field of law, the attack came. Countless blue beams of light bombarded his law field, making the field roar. The law sword in the field burst on the spot, and the law field collapsed rapidly. Meng Gang's face changed, and he reminded loudly, "Captain, be careful, it's an attack from the God King realm." At this time, he saw an attack falling on Lin Moyu, and a layer of bone armor emerged from Lin Moyu's body. The bone armor shattered in the attack, and the powerful attack hit Lin Moyu like a broken body. Meng Gang's expression changed drastically. Yu Zhu, Wang Zhenghao, and Rong Ji also changed their faces drastically, and they remained pale for a long time. In their eyes, no matter how strong Lin Moyu is, he is only the 5th level true god. Maybe the attack power is very strong, but the attack is not equal to the defense. Facing the attack of the God King, his defense instantly collapsed, and the attack of the God King fell on him. But in the next second, several people were stunned. Lin Moyu didn't change his face, and took all the attacks calmly. White light flashed on his body, and the skeleton armor kept appearing and collapsing. What followed was that somewhere in the blue light, white light continued to explode, as if someone was attacking there. The white light illuminated the blue, and everyone saw gold-eating beasts covered in blue. As a god king, Meng Gang lived the longest and had the most knowledge among all the people. He recognized what Lin Moyu had done, and murmured, "Multi-star spell." Only the linkage of spells induced by multi-star spells can find the enemies hidden in the dark in this passive way. The 343 gold-eating beast is blue in color, hidden in the blue light, its breath is invisible, and it is extremely difficult to find. But Lin Moyu used this method to find him abruptly. Killing intent rose in Lin Moyu's eyes. It seems that everyone who came in was attacked. With a soft sigh, the light around him kept beating. Hundreds of skeleton gods came out in response, rushing towards the gold-devouring beast. As Lin Moyu's cultivation continued to improve, the combat power of the skeletons also increased rapidly accordingly. The weakest 3 kinds of skeletons are all comparable to the 8th order true god. And the skeleton god general formed by their fusion has reached the 2nd rank of god king. The skeleton god will fly up, holding a sharp-boned sword, carrying the law of immortality, raising the sword in his hand and dropping it, waving a series of amazing sword energy. The huge sword energy swept across the starry sky, almost cutting the passage to pieces. There were no more than 10 gold-eating beasts that attacked Lin Moyu, and they were all gold-eating beasts of the first rank of God King. Facing the skeleton God General who has the second-level combat power of the God King, he is not an opponent at all. Plus the quantity differs by a factor of 10. Almost instantly, the 10 gold-devouring beasts were killed by the skeleton God General. After the gold-devouring beast died, its body quickly curled up, and finally turned into a piece of blue metal the size of a fist. Lin Moyu took a piece of blue metal in his hand and used detection. Shuojin, excellent refining material. Using detection techniques outside the coverage of the human emperor's network will reduce the detail of the information obtained, but it is enough for Lin Moyu. Gold devourers feed on Shuojin, and after the death, their corpses will turn into a piece of high-quality Shuojin. Sometimes the collected Shuojin is not pure enough and contains impurities, and needs to be further purified and refined. Often, 100 katis of Shuojin can be collected, and only 10 katis can be extracted in the end. After the death of the gold-devouring beast, the condensed gold does not need to be purified again, and the quality is very high. Lin Moyu took it in his hand and weighed it. Shuojin is not heavy, and a piece the size of a fist is only about 5 katis. From the perspective of mass density alone, he is not even as good as iron. But the laws contained in it make it worth far more than steel. Mengang and the others were completely startled by the scene just now. They never imagined that Lin Moyu would kill 10 gold-eating beasts in the God King realm so easily. To be able to reach the first rank of God King is already an elite member of the gold-devouring beast. Moreover, the gold-eating beast feeds on Shuojin all the year round, and its defense power is astonishing. It is very difficult for practitioners in the same realm to kill it. Generally, it can only be done by relying on powerful magic weapons. Mengang knew that even if he wanted to kill the gold-eating beast of the first rank of the God King, it would take some effort. But the skeletons that Lin Moyu summoned just now easily killed the gold-devouring beast. It shows that the combat power of these skeletons is astonishing, probably stronger than themselves. Is this a puppet? Where did such powerful puppets come from, and there are so many of them? Mengang thought in his heart, unable to judge. The tension in Yuju's heart subsided a lot. Maimu looked at Lin Moyu. In her eyes, Lin Moyu became more and more mysterious. Lin Moyu put Shuojin away, and said slowly, Mengang, based on your knowledge of gold-eating beasts, will they ambush? Mengang thought for a while, then shook his head. I'm not very clear, but I have never dealt with gold-devouring beasts before. Lin Moyu was a little disappointed. Without more information, he couldn't make a more precise judgment. At this time Yuju suddenly raised her hand and said, Captain, I know. Lin Moyu snorted, say it. Yuju once said that the Yu family she was born in had a very deep cooperative relationship with the military. This shows that the Yu family should be a big family with a long history. This kind of big family will know a lot of information. Yuju said, gold-eating beasts generally act in groups, with varying numbers, as few as 1,000, as many as tens of thousands. Their actions are not fixed, and they will find a large amount of gold to devour each time they act. At the same time, all creatures found by them will be killed by them. However, I have heard that there was an ambush, and I think what happened today is very strange. Lin Moyu nodded. Yuju's words made his guess a bit more likely. Lin Moyu continued to ask, are there any special gold-eating beasts in the information you know? Yuju thought for a while, then shook her head. A special gold-eating beast. It didn't appear in the data. Lin Moyu pondered for a few seconds, his eyes were serious and he said in a low voice, although it has not been confirmed yet, we have reason to suspect that there should be some special changes in Gold Eater Luli. Several people looked at Lin Moyu, wondering what Lin Moyu meant. Lin Moyu continued, I guess, in the group of gold-devouring beasts, a wise gold-devouring beast appeared, and it is very likely that it is the king of gold-devouring beasts. This can explain why the gold-devouring beasts ambushed us. The team that came in before must have also been ambushed, caught off guard, and it is very likely to cause damage. Mengang's face changed slightly. No wise beasts, no matter how strong they are not afraid, because their power is dispersed. But once there is wisdom and power twisted together, it becomes terrifying. If the wisdom is stronger and smarter, it will ambush, sneak attack, and think. Thinking of this, Mengang shivered all over, realizing the seriousness of the matter. Then should we report it? Lin Moyu shook his head, no way. Meng Gang was slightly taken aback, but didn't ask anything. Because he remembers what Lin Moyu said, Lin Moyu's words are orders and must be obeyed unconditionally. Lin Moyu said, first, we have no evidence. Second, you can't go back. Can't go back. Meng Gang's face changed slightly, and he immediately felt it, and his face suddenly became ugly. They are still in the passage, but this passage has become one way for some reason, and they can enter but cannot exit. Meng Gang murmured, it's different from when I came here. Yuju also sensed this, and her beautiful face became ugly. It's not the same as what was recorded in the data. Why is the passage becoming one way? Lin Moyu said, some special things must have happened, and the reason why those teams did not report back is probably related to this. It seems that we have only one way left to go. What Lin Moyu said was that there was only one way left. But the hearts of several people sank. They knew the subtext in Lin Moyu's words that there was no way out. Lin Moyu said in a low voice, the boat will naturally go straight when it reaches the bridge, and I'm worried that it won't solve the problem. According to what was said in advance, Meng Gang protected them well, and left the matter of fighting to me. After all, Meng Gang is a soldier, and he is also a god king. Soon he calmed down, and the breath of a soldier came forth spontaneously. Since you can't go back, go forward bravely. Lin Moyu cleared the way ahead, and everyone continued to move forward. From this moment on, several skeleton generals appeared beside Meng Gang and the others. 10 skeleton gods will protect them as the first line of defense. And Meng Gang is the second line of defense. There are also several skeleton gods in front of Lin Moyu who will lead the way. Thinking about this mission, in fact, Wang Zhenghao and Rong Ji didn't play a big role here, but they had a reason to come here. Their cultivation base has reached the 9th level of true gods, only one step away from the God King. Perhaps one experience is enough for them to complete the promotion. Their potential cannot be compared with geniuses like Chanhuang, so the difficulty of upgrading will be much lower. And they can get a lot of military merit through this mission. It can be regarded as a way for the military to train soldiers. It doesn't have to be useful to come out to perform tasks. The military has too many people, so it must use the method of casting a wide net. Besides, there is another reason that Lin Moyu can think of. That is, the military wants to see his ability. Adding to unnecessary burdens has no effect, but actually increases the difficulty of the task. It is also understandable that the military will be stricter on the holders of the title of honor. Lin Moyu can understand the above two reasons, so he is not surprised. It's just that the addition of Yuju made him a little confused. What is the purpose of this woman from the Yu family who said she was completing the task of promotion? Lin Moyu can't believe it. Her purpose is pure. But no matter what, since the team has been formed, as long as she is obedient, I will lead her to continue the task. Lin Moyu's eyes were full of thoughts, and he had already summed up the cause and effect of the past. All in all, the military did not think that it would succeed in this mission, or it was just an attempt. Among the 4 elders in Fortress 6, except for Li Yuanbai, the other 3 have already arrived here. In other words, there are already 3 gods sitting at the gate of the area 6 to 99. According to Li Yuanbai's main production, a stronger army commander is also ready. This is the rhythm of fighting. And it's not a small-scale battle, but a large-scale battle, and it may not just be Fort 6. Letting me come here to save people is not only a test, but also to buy some time so that the military can have more time to prepare. So it doesn't really matter whether my mission is successful or not. The important thing is that I went in, and I went in under the surveillance of other races. There must be something going on in the area. What the hell is it? Lin Moyu felt himself clearing his mind. From the moment he entered the outpost, he felt something was wrong. After arriving here, the feeling is more obvious. If the human race really wants to fight, it must be done in an instant, and it is impossible to notify in advance. It takes time to act secretly, so the result of confrontation and discussion among various ethnic groups is to buy time. There must be a reason for doing so, and the reason is in the area 6 to 99. At the same time, Lin Moyu also considered another possibility, whether the human race did this, and whether other races did the same. Everyone is not stupid. What you can think of, others can think of too. Involuntarily, Lin Moyu felt a sense of urgency, and it seemed that he had to hurry up. No matter what the military really meant, time was running out for him. His mission is to save people. If he has not completed his mission after the war begins, then his promotion mission will fail. At that time, the military merits will be deducted, and the promotion task cannot be performed again within 10 years. And once the war starts, it might die inside. Lin Moyu glanced around, and Shuo Jin lit up the starry sky with a blue light, like a huge cage, enveloping them. Lin Moyu almost had the urge to find the exit and leave immediately. What's wrong with you? Yuju noticed the change of Lin Moyu's breath. Lin Moyu shook his head. Nothing, just thinking about something. Yuju snorted. Is it about the gold-devouring beast? Lin Moyu took advantage of the situation and asked, do you know a lot about King Lu who eats gold? Gold-devouring beastmaster. Yuju tilted her head, apparently searching for memories in her little head. Lin Moyu looked at him. This beautiful woman has an extraordinary family heritage and knows a lot of information. But this time it was obvious that she didn't know what was going on here, so she followed so recklessly. In the thoughts just now, Lin Moyu probably guessed that Polygonatum is most likely to observe himself. After all, my performance is too special. As a descendant of a big family, it is normal to observe myself. Although Lin Moyu was born in a small world, no matter whether it is a small world or a big world, the structure is similar. It is nothing more than a relationship between a larger scale and a smaller scale. A small world is also a world, and there are families in it. Lin Moyu used to be in a high position and is very familiar with this. Observe geniuses, make friends with geniuses, or absorb geniuses into the family. Marriage is a very good way. Lin Moyu realized that he was thinking too much, and he thought too much. At this time, Yuju also stopped thinking. There are very few records of the gold-devouring beast king. We only know that there are more than 10,000 gold-devouring beast groups that may give birth to the beast king. The strength of the gold-devouring beast king is around the 4th level of the god king. Quote, Lin Moyu also knew this information, and he was a little disappointed, thinking in his heart, if there are more gold-devouring beasts, it will reach 50,000, or even 100,000. Will a more powerful beast king be born, or even a wise beast king? The world is so big, everything is possible. In a special battlefield, there is no need to feel strange about what happens. Just like the appearance of the gold-devouring beast herd, it has always been an unsolved mystery. No one knows how or where they came from. Anyway, every time it appears, it will cause some death damage. After they appeared, they ate a large amount of Shuojin and killed the other creatures next to Shuojin, and then disappeared again. In thinking, everyone completely flew away from the passage. At the moment of leaving the passage and actually entering the area 6 to 99, the light blue light was shrouded by a more intense azure light. It's like seeing a beautiful ocean. The blue light is like waves, rolling over layer upon layer. This is a beautiful starry sky, very beautiful. In the distant starry sky, a little bit of blue light flickered. Every bit of blue light is Shuojin. Shuojin is big and small, and their light is refracted and reflected through layers of space, forming a dreamy blue world. But they didn't have time to appreciate the beautiful picture, and attacks came from all directions. The gold-devouring beast's attack contained extremely strong impact. In the blue beam of attacking light, there are also mottled light spots. It was distorted in the channel space before, and I didn't see it clearly. Now I can see clearly that the blue is the color of Shuojin, and the mottled light spots on it are the color of the associated ore of Shuojin. A color that looks like gold but not gold, silver but not silver. The associated ore of Shuojin is called gold and silver stone, which contains toxins and is constantly released. Gold-devouring beasts are not afraid of this toxin. When they eat shunjin, they will also eat gold and silver stones. Their subsequent attacks will also contain this toxin, even stronger than the gold and silver stone itself. Before the Jin Zhen Dan appeared, the attack of the gold-devouring beast was very fatal. Even if it can block the attack, the all-pervasive toxin makes practitioners very headache. After the Zhenjin pill appeared, the threat of toxins almost disappeared, and it only needed to be able to attack the gold-devouring beast. Mengang gave a soft shout, and the domain of laws opened up, covering the 3 of Yuju. In the field of law, countless swords of law appeared, forming a sword array in the field. The soul leaped out from the top of his head, holding a shield in his hand. The shield turned into a stream of light, merged into the field of law, and suddenly a shield appeared in the field of law. The combination of sword and shield greatly enhanced the defense of the law domain. Lin Moyu could tell at a glance that the shield in Mengang's soul was from the military. He is already a god king, and his soul has already surpassed the true god realm, and his soul has begun to merge with the law field. No longer simply using laws as armor, the soul can already fight in the field of laws. If he hadn't wanted to protect Yuju and the others, Mengang would have already driven in the law domain by now. In the blue light, the gold-eating beast looms in it. There are their figures in all directions, and their attacks are densely packed. The skeleton gods protecting Mengang and the others attacked at the same time, ignoring the attack of the gold-devouring beasts, and swung sword auras one after another. Gold-devouring beasts can hide in the blue light, and neither the naked eye nor the soul can find them. But in the eyes of the undead of the skeleton general, the gold-eating beast is too obvious, and there is nowhere to hide. The sword energy cut through the starry sky, and a gold-eating beast was swallowed by the sword energy. Lin Moyu's heart moved, and more generals appeared around him. At the same time, the attacks that landed on it shattered the bone armor. The skeleton armor triggers the linkage of spells and counterattacks continuously. The gold-devouring beast that is attacking now is not an elite member, nor is it a captain, and the realm is between the 8th and 9th ranks of the true god. For Mengang, although the number is large, the pressure is much less than the previous round. The domain of law with the double blessing of sword and shield easily blocked the attack. The starry white light burst and flickered, and the bone spears and bone fangs flickered in the starry sky. Those gold-devouring beasts with only 8th ranks were instantly killed by counterattacks linked with spells. The 9th-level gold-eating beast was also injured on the spot and was seriously injured. After the death of the gold-devouring beast, the body will dissipate and turn into extremely high-purity shujin. They don't have blood, and once they are severely injured, they only need to eat some shuojin to recover. In the same way, eating the shuojin that became after the death of the companion can also restore it. Lin Moyu saw clearly that a gold-devouring beast ate the shuojin behind his companion's death and quickly recovered. Lin Moyu released a total of 100 skeleton god generals, and the skeleton god generals rushed into the group of gold-eating beasts at a high speed, beating them to the point where they were powerless to fight back. In the blink of an eye, more than 500 gold-devouring beasts had already been beheaded. At this time, the gold-devouring beast suddenly retreated like a tide as if it had received some order. The gold-devouring beast was so fast that it disappeared in the blink of an eye. Mengang whispered, "The gold-eating beast can resonate with shuojin and gold and silver stones. Here, their speed is very fast and it is difficult to chase." Lin Moyu nodded. "According to what you know, do gold-devouring beasts have the habit of running away when they cannot be defeated?" Mengang thought for a while and shook his head slightly. Yuju also shook her head and said, "According to the records in the family information, most of the time when encountering gold-devouring beasts, there are two outcomes: one is to kill them or be killed by them. Running is impossible, the gold-devouring beast is too fast. Kill or be killed. This also shows that the gold-devouring beast will not run away. After all, it is a giant beast that has no wisdom and does not know fear, so how can it be afraid? Without fear there is no possibility of escape." This scene also further confirmed Lin Moyu's previous guess that the same kind with wisdom was really born in the gold-devouring group. And he can command the entire group of gold-devouring beasts, so he should be the king of gold-devouring beasts. Gold-devouring beasts have been around for countless years, why is wisdom born now? Yuju obviously thought of this too, and couldn't help frowning. If there is a commander, the combat power of the gold-devouring beasts can be improved by at least several levels, and the danger will be greatly increased. But Lin Moyu suddenly realized another possibility. Could it be that this intelligent gold-eating beast has always existed? It's just that it didn't wake up before. After all, people who encountered the gold-devouring beast before were basically killed. Occasionally, there were those who escaped and ascended to heaven, or those who turned against the gold-devouring beast, probably didn't realize this. This kind of possibility is not impossible, but it is useless to think too much now, they can only move on. Lin Moyu looked at Mengang. "Let's start the tracing board." Mengang nodded, took out the person-finding disc and activated it directly. A bright light suddenly bloomed like a person seeking formation, and a few seconds later, several arrows appeared outside the formation. The appearance of the arrow is familiar, and the shell given by Yu Qingru, when you find the flashing stars, the arrows displayed are also like this. There are 4 arrows in total, long and short. The person-finding array can find battlefield tokens within tens of millions of kilometers, and the battlefield tokens deal with human cultivators. Mengang explained, "The longer the arrow, the longer the distance." Lin Moyu nodded, "Start from the nearest one." Everyone immediately flew towards the nearest direction. Human race practitioners will wear battlefield tokens as long as they are active in the battlefield area. Once killed, the battlefield token will be invalid at the same time, and cannot be found by ordinary people finding arrays. So they don't have to worry, they just find the battlefield token, but they can't find the person. As long as the person hunting array points in the direction, there must be a cultivator, and he is still alive. After flying 1,000,000 kilometers, they saw a black shadow, sinking and floating in the blue light like waves. Found it. A look of surprise appeared on Yuju's face. Lin Moyu frowned slightly, he sensed the breath of life on Fang. It looked like he was dead, but the tracing disc pointed to him, indicating that he should be alive. Meng Gang also frowned, he seems to be dead. However, Meng Gang was not very sure about the words. Lin Moyu switched to the perspective of the undead, and finally saw that the other party seemed to be dead, but the soul still existed. As long as the soul is still there, it does not mean death. But this soul is also in a deep sleep state, and its breath is a little weird. Suddenly, Lin Moyu yelled softly, "Defense!" Zhen Gang almost instinctively opened the field of law, and at the same time the soul jumped out. At this time, a dark blue attack came like a sharp arrow, easily piercing through his law domain, piercing his soul. The other party seemed to be waiting for Meng Gang's soul to appear. Meng Gang's face changed drastically, and it was too late to hide. Trap! Meng Gang reacted immediately, but it was too late. His soul has just jumped out, the attack has arrived, and the timing is very precise. At the God King realm, the soul manifests into the realm of law completely, and with the protection of the realm of law, there is no longer any problem with the safety of the soul. If you want to attack the soul, you must first break the field of law. It is much more difficult than in the realm of true gods. But the reality of the fragile soul has not changed. Once the soul is damaged, it can be severely injured, even to the foundation. If it is heavy, it will fall directly. This attack was like a broken bamboo, easily piercing through Meng Gang's law field, and coming straight to the soul. Needless to say, if it hits, Meng Gang Shaoxi will not be safe. Meng Gang's soul complexion changed drastically, and he felt that he was locked in, and there was no way to avoid it. The attack came so fast and hastily that Yu Zhu and the others didn't react at all. Their realm is not enough, and they really can't react. Just when Meng Gang was desperate, a white shadow appeared in front of the soul, between the soul and the attack. The skeleton god will hold a shield, because Meng Gang blocked the attack. The skeleton god will keep retreating during the attack, but immediately after that, more skeleton gods will rush over, and the tight Meng Gang protects him. Meng Gang had the feeling of escaping death. He looked at Lin Moyu, and found that Lin Moyu didn't look at himself at all, but looked forward. This attack was made by the human cultivator who seemed to be a dead body. From the perspective of the undead of the skeleton, Lin Moyu saw a gold-eating beast jumping out of the body of a human cultivator. This gold-devouring beast is very small, only the size of a palm, and it exudes blue light all over its body. Soul, the soul of the gold-devouring beast. Recognized at a glance, this guy is the soul of the gold-devouring beast. After it left the body of the human cultivator, the aura of the human cultivator completely disappeared. Even the arrows on the tracing board disappeared. He was dead, really dead. After the soul of the gold-devouring beast glanced at Meng Gang, its body gradually blurred and disappeared. The starry sky is cold, and there is no starlight to bring warmth here. The surrounding atmosphere fell into an inexplicable weirdness. Yuju swallowed. This is a trap. It turned out to be a trap. She now fully believes that Lin Moyu's previous judgment was not wrong. The group of gold-devouring beasts really gave birth to wisdom, and the wisdom is not low, even using corpses to set traps. Lin Moyu asked the skeleton god to look through the corpse, and asked at the same time, do other races have something similar to the person finding array? Meng Gang was still in shock at this moment. He had just narrowly escaped death, and he hadn't fully recovered yet. But after all, he is a soldier. Hearing Lin Moyu's words, he replied instinctively, yes, all races have similar methods. Lin Moyu nodded, be careful next. Meng Gang took a deep breath and saluted Lin Moyu, thank you. If it wasn't for Lin Moyu just now, I would have died. Lin Moyu shook his head, you are my team member, so I should save you. Meng Gang hummed and didn't say any more nonsense. The skeleton god will carefully look through the corpse and make sure it is safe. Lin Moyu ordered the skeleton god to bring the body back, and found that there were several wounds on the body, one of which directly penetrated the forehead, which was a fatal wound. Looking at the wound, Lin Moyu felt a little strange. The wound was too small, only the thickness of a finger. It doesn't look like a bite from a gold-devouring beast, nor does it seem like an attack from a gold-devouring beast. It's a bit like the wounds caused by arrow magic weapons of other races, so it's hard to judge for a while. Originally, Lin Moyu wanted to use resurrection, but it was useless after thinking about it. This technique is too weird, beyond the understanding of many people. And he will not reveal his secret easily. Furthermore, he believed that the information about this corpse would not be too much. Apart from being able to tell myself how he died, there is no other use. Lin Moyu handed the body to Meng Gang. Take it and take it back. With the battlefield token, you can find the original owner's information, and the fallen leaves will return to their roots, so that they will not die in the starry sky. Meng Gang took a brand new storage ring and put away the corpse. Continue. Lin Moyu let out a soft cry, and everyone moved towards the next goal. The second target is about 3 million kilometers away, not very far away, and it takes less than 3 minutes to fly there. But in the middle of their flight, the target suddenly disappeared. Meng Gang whispered, "Dead." There is only one possibility for the target to disappear, and that is to die. Go and have a look. Lin Moyu's face darkened slightly and he continued to move forward. His face was slightly gloomy, and he thought to himself, how could it be such a coincidence, the other party will die soon. Faintly, he felt something was wrong. Habits cultivated in the small world, Lin Moyu is vigilant about everything. Especially in the battlefield, not vigilant means death. Ask for flowers. Soon, they saw the corpse. There seemed to be aura left by the war around the corpse, and they could clearly feel the residual aura of the law. Obviously, the owner of the corpse had resisted before his death. Just died, the breath has not completely dissipated, but the gold-devouring beast has disappeared. Lin Moyu stopped suddenly. No. Yu Zhu, Wang Zhenghao, and Rongji were all here for the first time, and they couldn't see anything wrong. Meng Gang also said, there is indeed a problem. How could the gold-devouring beast leave behind its corpse? The gold-devouring beast has always eaten all other living beings, leaving no residue behind. How could there be a corpse left behind? It was like that before, and it's like this now. Lin Moyu was connected to the perspective of the undead, and he saw the little gold-devouring beast soul again. It was standing on the head of the corpse, and it had obviously spotted Lin Moyu and others, and its small eyes showed vigilance. In the next second, it jumped into the void, and disappeared under the shroud of blue light. Lin Moyu thought in his heart, could it be the tea? Quote, there was no one else around, and after much deliberation, there was only the soul of that little gold-devouring beast. But it was very alert, and ran away as soon as it saw Lin Moyu and others. Lin Moyu didn't chase after it and let it go. Meng Gang also saw the other party, and whispered, did it kill him? Lin Moyu whispered, it should be. It seems that the group of gold-eating beasts this time is more troublesome than expected. There may be more than one gold-eating beast with wisdom. Meng Gang looked solemn, realizing that things were getting more and more troublesome. The task this time gave him the feeling that it was almost the same as sending him to death. If it weren't for Lin Moyu, if they were replaced by other god kings, they would have been wiped out when they passed through the passage. Lin Moyu asked the skeleton god to bring back the corpse, and there was also only a wound between the eyebrows. But it is still not certain that it was killed by the soul of the little gold-devouring beast just now. Continue to find the next target. After several minutes, the third target was finally found. This time it was a living person, but he was seriously injured and had fallen into a coma. Not only is the body in a coma, but the soul is also in a coma. Gold and silver stone toxins have entered the body, destroying vitality. Lin Moyu used the power of life to heal him. The power of life can heal, but it takes time. There is no time at present, just to maintain his state, let Rongji take him, and continue to move forward.